So there was a new shot in secret documentary that has over 34 U.S. officials on record claiming that it is the biggest discovery in human history. There's going to be a film that comes out from Dan Farah. It's been rumored for quite a bit. Been hearing rumblings of this, but now it's official. So, how? I mean, I guess was it maybe the inside the community worst kept secret, but nonetheless. There's a trailer that we're going to react to here. We're going to talk about it in general, but the way that I saw this is something to me that I think is very interesting. The Hollywood Reporter was the one that is where I got the news from this, not the normal Twitter accounts or other people that I know sharing stories or podcast interviews. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. So let me read this article, and then we're going to react to the trailer, because I haven't watched the trailer yet. I want to save it for this. But here is the actual story from the Hollywood Reporter. Age of Disclosure, UFO documentary has 34 U.S. officials on record. It's the biggest discovery in human history. Government and military officials get candid about the UFO UAP phenomenon in the first trailer for a newly announced shot in secret film by Dan Farah, premiering at South by Southwest. An upcoming documentary about the UFO UAP phenomenon promises to be the most well-sourced and credible film ever made about the buzzy topic, and its first trailer has just been released. The Age of Disclosure by filmmaker Dan Farah features on-record interviews with 34 current and former senior members of the U.S. government, military, and intelligence community with direct knowledge of unidentified aerial phenomena. The film contends there has been an 80-year cover-up of the existence of non-human intelligent life and secret war amongst major nations to reverse engineer UFO technology. As announced earlier Wednesday, the Age of the Disclosure has earned first-time director Farah a coveted premiere at the South by Southwest Film Festival, where it will screen at the historic Paramount Theater in March. Some of the officials interviewed include newly confirmed Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who says in the trailer that when it comes to this subject, even presidents are operating on a need-to-know basis. New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, South Dakota Senator Mike Rounds, and General Jim Clapper, who was a U.S. Director of National Intelligence under President Barack Obama. From the official description, the film was granted unprecedented access and support from senior members of the U.S. government, military, and intelligence community. Everyone interviewed in the film has direct knowledge of UAP as a result of their work for the U.S. government. The film exposes the profound impact the situation has on future of humanity while providing a look behind the scenes with those at the forefront of the bipartisan disclosure effort. Jim Semivin, who spent 25 years as a senior official with the CIA, says in the trailer, UAPs are here, they are real, and they are not human. Jay Stratton, former director of the U.S. government, a UAP task force, the first country that cracks the code on this tech will be the leader for years to come. This is similar to the Manhattan Project. This is the atomic weapon on steroids. Okay, so there's a lot here so far. This is one of those things. If you're reading this, you're glancing at your news like, oh, I wonder who's going to be the next Batman. And you're going through this, and then you see this, and you read this. You'd be like, who's this? Stratton, what? Who's that? You guys have been following this subject for quite a bit. So the idea that we have a documentary that was kind of shot under the radar, again, rumblings have been about this documentary, but the fact that it's going to debut at South by Southwest, which is also very interesting. The title alone, The Age of Disclosure, very interesting. The names involved, the access given, just the quotes from the article itself. But I have not watched the trailer yet. I'm going to watch this trailer, and then we'll talk about it after I'm done watching it. Here it is.
The American people are ready to receive the truth.
Okay, we've seen him many times over. He was at the first hearing.
Humanity is not the only intelligence in the universe.
Humanity is not the only intelligent species.
We are absolutely not alone.
Non-human intelligence exists. UAPs are real, they're here, and they're not human. I spent 25 years as a senior official with the CIA.
I've worked on highly classified UAP programs.
28 years as an astrophysicist.
I served as the 4th Director of National Intelligence.
Director of Aviation Security in the National Security Council.
He's a one-star admiral after 32 years of service.
People that come forward with this, I feel like they've taken their life in their own hands.
I was recruited to a highly sensitive government program that investigated unidentified aerial phenomenon.
For over 16 years, on behalf of the U.S. government, I worked as a senior intelligence official on the unidentified aerial phenomenon topic.
We learned that the U.S. government was involved in a long-running secret war with other nations to collect and reverse engineer vehicles not made by humans.
I have seen with my own eyes non-human craft and non-human beings.
Wow.
So look at that thing. It's rotating. There's a whole fleet of them.
The first country that cracks the code on this technology will be the leader for years to come.
China has established its own version of a UAP task force.
You think for a second that they wouldn't consider using it to achieve their ends of domination?
This is similar to the Manhattan Project. This is the atomic weapon on steroids.
Crazy.
This is so secret. Very, very few people in our entire government have been allowed access to it.
Even presidents have been operating on a need-to-know basis, but that begins to ramp out of control.
It needs to change.
It's not acceptable to have secret parts of government that no one ever sees.
You better be careful about a government that doesn't trust its people, because there's no telling what they'll pull on you.
This is the biggest discovery in human history.
You had information being locked away that could change the trajectory for species.
It has so many beneficial impacts, including clean energy.
Right.
We should have disclosure today. We should have disclosure tomorrow. The time has come.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we all feel that way, right?
What else you want to know?
Well, what can you tell us? I mean, that's that you're allowed to say. Are you actually going to? I mean, we can't do that this time around. Well, I can't say that now. Well, I don't think they're going to include that in the actual documentary. But the fact that this was shot in secret, and you're really just hearing about it now, and the fact that it's going to South by, this was kind of what I was hoping was going to happen, right? At with James Fox's documentary, that it was going to be put in a place where a lot of people were going to see it, whether it's the Netflixes or whoever. I mean, this is going to be seen by all the studios. It's going to be seen by people to maybe what I'm hoping, because there's a lot of times, as I said, and this is why people always ask me why I think it's so important that this stuff gets mass media coverage and traditional media coverage, because that's when a lot of people see this type of stuff and see these types of stories. And when you see something like the Hollywood Reporter showing this trailer and other people, because I discovered this topic and the people that were involved in it and the names of Leslie Canes or whatever through a documentary I saw on National Geographic. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Let me see it. And I didn't know the weight of it. Now, there are tons of people who knew tons of it, knew all these things way before I did, and had so many, and I get comments about it all the time. Like, I've been following this subject forever. Where the hell you been? I was, I guess, in the Matrix, if you will, got unplugged by asking questions. And this is one of those things where it's just like, it is still, and I know everybody's kind of was let down by the Ross Coulthart thing. And I think the reason why people were let down is it's not the stuff that was said inside of it. Stuff that's said inside of it was pretty interesting. And if true, like crazy. And the idea of it in general, of all those different things that dude and other people went through, that and saw, will lead and help when disclosure starts coming out. That's not what I don't believe that's what the disappointment was. The disappointment was the hype behind it. And we've seen that before with people. This is game changing. This is going to change it all. Make sure it's it. Before you say those words, make sure that is it. There's no denying it. You have to understand that. This one is interesting to me because, like I said, Hollywood Reporter showing this, having an article on it, South by Southwest, because this is the realm that I am familiar with. For those of you who only know me from this channel, I have been in the movie space for 15 some odd years, and South by Southwest is a big deal. A lot of people will see this. Now the question is, will they initially do the whole, UFOs. Here we go again. The drones thing. Yeah, let's see. And then when seeing it and seeing all of these people at this, because that was the thing that got me. I don't think a lot of people understand that don't know the topic. The amount of high-level people, military, that have been around this, paying attention to this, they all think it's just the guy with no teeth behind the barn sipping moonshine, pretending that he saw, something in the sky, like Randy Quaid in Independence Day. And they don't. Nobody. No. When I bring this up, when I tell people, when they go, you talk about that UFO stuff, I was like, yeah. Do you know about the military reports? And it's like, no. What do you mean? And then you see something like this. I think this could have an impact if people see it, because that was my biggest issue with the James Fox documentary. Was I said, okay, this thing's got to be picked up by a big streamer, but you have to, and it's not James Fox's fault, but you have to pay for it because it wasn't one of these things that was broadcast or marketed by a streamer that let people know that it was on and made a big deal of, like something like this. To have an article saying an in secret documentary was made and it's called The Age of Disclosure, again, with a title like that, let's go. What are you showing me? That's the other thing, though, too. Because as we're watching that trailer and we see that trailer, a lot of us know and have heard all of the things that those people have said. Inside of that documentary, are we going to hear more stuff that maybe wasn't said? Because you got a lot of stuff from Stratton in there. Maybe there's more stuff from him that was never said before. Or is it stuff similar to the James Fox documentary that is meant for people to discover this topic and is meant for people to open their eyes and unplug from the matrix, if you will? Is that the intent of this? Or is the intent both? Is the intent for someone like us who are watching this channel right now, for someone like me who's hosting this and doing videos, 1 or 2 of these a day, talking about this, like, what is it? Are you going to change? Are you going to make me go down even more of a rabbit hole and say, holy shit, we are getting closer to this thing? Or is it going to be me going, okay, more people know about it, let's start asking more questions? Or is it going to be one of those things like, here we go again, a lot of hype behind it, and then nothing paid off? I don't know. I'm not sure which way it's going to go. But it's interesting that it's the things that stand out to me. Like I said, I do, and I know a lot of you guys don't agree with me, I put a lot of weight into mainstream media covering this. And don't be confused with me wanting them to talk about it and me respecting mainstream media. I think they're a joke. I think a lot of mainstream media and legacy media is a joke. I think it's a circus. I think it's no different than it might just be scripted television. So every outlet, the garbage. Well, why is it important then? The ratings are low because people get their news from them, and it's the cycle. It's the sheep cycle. It's what it is. If someone talks about it on there and then it catches on from someone talking about it at the coffee shop because they saw it on Channel 4 News the night before, well, then it must be real. That's how this works. That's how we are as a society. Do I like it? No, I hate it, but it's the truth. So when I see the Hollywood Reporter covering it from working in that industry, I know that somebody's going to stumble across that going, what the hell is this now? Is this crossing over to here now? What the hell is this? And if they watch this trailer, they're going to go, holy shit, have you seen this? At least I hope. So anyway, what do you think about this trailer? What do you think about the fact that it's a secret trailer? Do you think that there's going to be anything that comes out of this at all? Or is this just the same thing? Here we go again. Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, please do so. Hit that button. Subscribe to it. A lot of new people in here recently. Thank you for joining us. And keep those comments coming, man. I'm trying to pump out these videos because there's just so much going on in the news, and I don't want to let it pass. So thanks again. I appreciate you, and we'll see you tomorrow.